What if the dog sleeping on your couch right now is worth more than your car? These 10 signs have turned ordinary-looking dogs into 5-figure animals, and most owners had no idea what they were looking at. Number 10 alone has pushed a dog's value past $4,000, and that is the smallest number on this entire list. Stay to the end, because number 1 has sold for over $20,000. And it comes from a trait so subtle, most owners walk past it every single day without ever noticing. Every value in this video is backed by real sales, real breeders, and real documented cases. No guessing, no exaggeration. Let's get into it. Number 10. The butterfly nose. Most people glance at a dog's nose for half a second and never think about it again. That is exactly the mistake that costs people money. A butterfly nose is split into 2 distinct colors, usually pink and black, divided almost perfectly down the middle. On most dogs, this looks like a simple pigment quirk. Nothing more. But here is what breeders know that owners do not. A standard puppy without this marking sells for around $500. The same breed, same litter, with a clean documented butterfly nose, sells for $2,500 and up. And the extreme end of this market is not a rumor. A border collie, with a perfectly symmetrical butterfly nose and matching symmetrical facial markings sold privately for $4,500 to a buyer who specifically sought out that exact combination. The test is simple. Go look at your dog's nose right now. Is it split cleanly into 2 colors? Is the pattern symmetrical rather than random blotches? Symmetry is what separates a valuable butterfly nose from an ordinary one. Breeders call this a flash marking, and serious buyers actively search for puppies with it before they are even born. Number 9. A one-of-a-kind brindle pattern. Brindle looks like stripes at first glance, and most people assume all brindle dogs look basically the same. They are wrong, and that assumption costs them money constantly. Every single brindle pattern is genetically unique. No 2 dogs, even from the same litter, have identical striping. It is closer to a fingerprint than a coat color. A standard brindle puppy sells for around $600. A dense, high-contrast brindle with dramatic stripe definition sells for $3,000 or more. The record on this one will surprise you. A brindle cane corso with an unusually dark, almost tiger-like stripe pattern sold at a private breeder auction for $6,000, specifically because the pattern was rare enough that photographs of the dog had already gone viral before the sale. The test. Look at the contrast between the stripes and the base coat. The sharper and darker the contrast, the higher the value. Faded, muddy brindle is common. Sharp, high-contrast brindle is not. Number 8. The Dapple pattern, but only when it shows up where it should not. Everyone expects Dapple in a dachshund. Nobody expects it anywhere else. And that is exactly why it is worth so much more when it appears in a breed that is not supposed to carry the gene. A standard puppy without Dapple sells for around $700. A documented, genuinely verified Dapple pattern in an unexpected breed sells for $4,000 and climbing. Here is the case that proves it. A Dapple-patterned Chihuahua, marbled with irregular light and dark patches across the entire body, sold for $7,500 to a collector specifically building a rare pattern lineage. The test. Look for a marbled, splash-like pattern of lighter patches scattered unevenly across a darker base coat. If your dog has this and is not a dachshund, you may be looking at a genuine rarity. Number 7. The Dilute coat. The blue or lilac coloring that looks almost silver in the right light. A standard colored puppy sells for around $800. A genuine Dilute blue or lilac coat pushes that same puppy to $5,000. The extreme case here is documented and public. A lilac-colored French bulldog with a fully diluted coat and matching light-colored eyes sold for $9,000, one of the highest prices ever recorded for the breed at that time. The test is on the nose and paw pads, not just the coat. If the nose and paw pads are gray or pinkish rather than solid black, that confirms the Dilute gene is present. Coat color alone can be deceiving. The nose never lies. Number 6. Merle patterning combined with blue eyes. Merle alone is valuable. Merle paired with 1 or 2 ice blue eyes multiplies that value dramatically because the combination is significantly rarer than either trait on its own. A standard puppy sells for around $900. A Merle puppy with confirmed blue eyes sells for $6,000. The top of this market is well documented. An Australian Shepherd with full Merle patterning and 2 crystal clear blue eyes sold to a private buyer for $12,000. A price driven entirely by the rarity of that exact visual combination. The test: check both eyes carefully. Even 1 blue eye alongside Merle patterning significantly increases value. 2 matching blue eyes is the top tier that collectors specifically hunt for. Quick pause. If even one of these signs made you pause and think about your own dog, hit the like button right now. It genuinely helps this video reach the next person who has no idea what they are sitting on. Drop a comment telling me which sign you are about to go check. I read every single one. The next 4 signs push into numbers that get genuinely hard to believe. Number 1 alone changed one family's entire year. Number 5. A spontaneous natural tuft. The little mustache or beard patch some dogs are simply born with. This one does not carry a direct resale value the way coat patterns do, but it carries something arguably more valuable: fame. Dogs with a distinctive spontaneous facial tuft have been picked up by pet brands for paid sponsorship deals worth $8,000 and up, purely because the marking made them instantly recognizable and shareable online. One dog with a naturally occurring dark tuft resembling a tiny mustache became the face of a national pet food campaign, earning more in 18 months than most show dogs earn in a lifetime of competitions. The test: look for any small, defined patch of contrasting fur around the muzzle that was not groomed or added, just naturally there since puppyhood. If it looks deliberate, but nobody put it there, you may be sitting on a marketing goldmine. Number 4. Vitiligo. The gradual appearance of white patches on a dog that was not born with them. This condition develops over time, usually starting around 1 to 2 years of age, as pigment cells stop producing color in specific areas. Owners often panic the first time they see it, assuming something is wrong. In reality, it is harmless, and in several documented cases, it has turned an ordinary dog into an internet phenomenon. One dog, whose vitiligo spread symmetrically around both eyes, became a nationally recognized ambassador for a health foundation, generating paid partnerships worth over $10,000. The test: look for white patches that were not there in puppy photos, especially symmetrical patches around the eyes or face. If the pattern is spreading and symmetrical, document it. That documentation is exactly what brands look for. Number 3. Chimerism, when 2 separate embryos fuse into one, leaving a single dog carrying 2 complete sets of DNA at once. This is not a trend or a breeding trick. It is a genuine biological rarity that cannot be intentionally produced. It simply happens, occasionally, by chance. A dog with visible chimerism, split cleanly down the middle with 2 different coat colors on each half of the body, is one of the rarest living animals a breeder will ever encounter. One documented case: a Labrador with a full black side and a full yellow side fused into a single body, drew international media attention and was ultimately valued by breed specialists at over $20,000, based purely on genetic rarity and documentation value. The test: look for a coat that is split almost perfectly down the center line of the body into 2 distinct colors, not blended, not patchy, but a clean divide. If you see that, you may be looking at one of the rarest dogs alive today. Number 2. The pure Harlequin pattern in a Great Dane. Black patches on a completely white base, with 0 gray undertone anywhere on the body. A standard Great Dane puppy sells for around $1,500. A genuinely pure Harlequin, meeting the strict standard with no gray patches mixed in, sells for $8,000. The record sale on this one is well known in breeding circles. A show-quality pure Harlequin Great Dane with documented lineage and zero disqualifying gray patches, sold for $15,000 to a breeder specifically continuing a championship bloodline. The test: look closely at every patch on the body. Any gray undertone mixed into the black patches disqualifies the pattern from top-tier value. Pure black on pure white with sharp, clean edges is what collectors are willing to pay the most for. Number 1. The Panda pattern, German Shepherd. Here is something almost nobody outside serious breeding circles knows. Every single Panda pattern German Shepherd alive today traces back to one single litter, born from one spontaneous genetic mutation that has never been reproduced from scratch since. That is not an exaggeration. That is the entire foundation of this pattern's value. A standard German Shepherd puppy sells for around $1,500. A documented Panda pattern puppy with the distinctive white markings across the chest, paws, and muzzle combined with the traditional black and tan body sells for $10,000 at the low end. And the extreme case here is the highest number on this entire list. A Panda German Shepherd with fully documented lineage tracing directly back to the original founding litter, sold privately for $22,000, making it one of the single most valuable individual dogs ever sold outside of specialized working or show lines. The test: look for clean white patches specifically on the chest, paws, and muzzle, combined with the standard black and tan German Shepherd body color. If you see that exact combination, you may be looking at a direct descendant of one of the rarest bloodlines in the entire breed. 10 signs, 10 traits sitting quietly on dogs all over the country right now, completely unnoticed by the people who own them. You do not need to own a show dog. You do not need papers, a pedigree, or a fancy breeder's name attached to your dog's history. Every single trait on this list can show up in a mixed breed, a rescue, a dog from a shelter that nobody thought twice about. The difference between an ordinary-looking dog and a genuinely valuable one usually comes down to one detail most people never think to check. So before you scroll away, go look at your dog. Check the nose, check the eyes, check the coat pattern under good light. Drop a comment right now telling me which one of these 10 you think your dog might have. I read every single one, and I want to know what's out there. Subscribe and hit the bell, because we go this deep into hidden value every single week, and you do not want to miss the next one. Whatever you do, do not assume your dog is ordinary until you have actually checked.